PS I Love You Day, Inc., a nonprofit organization that brings awareness to the importance of mental health, will celebrate the 14th annual PS I Love You Day alongside nearly 600 schools, community organizations, and local businesses on Friday, February 9th, 2024. This year's theme is Love is Meant to be Given. We encourage all to spread love to the world, others, and most importantly, yourself. Always remember you are the gatekeeper of something so much bigger. PS I Love You Day was created in 2011 by co-founders Jaimie and Brooke DePalma, alongside with their mother, community members of the help of West Islip High School class of 2014 to celebrate the memory of their father, Joseph DePalma Jr., and others lost to suicide. The last three words Brooke said to her father were, "I love you." Thus, the inspiration for this day. Being a part of PS I Love You Day has strengthened our commitment and to being kind and compassionate towards others, said Gina Pertralia of North Babylon School District. We implement lessons that promote both social and emotional growth. All of the spirits are lifted when we participate in the program. Schools, community organizations, businesses, and individuals can sign up for PS I Love You Day 2024 by visiting the PS I Love You Day website. Participants will receive activities and worksheets that were created to spread the message of PS I Love You Day. Local businesses and community members are encouraged to spread the love by wearing purple and placing a purple heart on their window to show unity. Check out who is already participating in your local area here. In 2024, PS I Love You Day was able to use contributions to donate to the bench at South Oaks Hospital, Northwell Health. Additionally, PS I Love You Day, Inc. donated a mural created by fellow West Islip High School graduate Mirabella Designs to West Islip High School, which is now in a hallway dedicated to PS I Love You Day. Thank you to all who continue to support PS I Love You Day. We are all so grateful to everyone every year who makes this day so full of love, gratitude, and resilience every year. A little bit more about PS I Love You Day. PS I Love You Day is a registered 501c3 nonprofit organization in New York State. PS I Love You Day's goal is to end stigma and create hope for those affected by mental illness. Our program is designed to foster an environment where affected individuals are supported and create community where everyone feels welcomed, loved, and supported. Every second Friday of February, the organization holds its annual celebration known as PS I Love You Day. For more information, contact psiloveyouday@gmail.com, and the co-founders are Jaimie and Brooke DePalma.
But with that, I am so excited, guys. This episode means so much to me. It truly means the world to me. I am Rob Cutrone from the Social Capital Podcast. Today we are here at HQ, Coho Coffee House, and we're going to be shooting the story of the DePalma girls, Brooke and Jaimie DePalma, who are here as co-founders of PS I Love You Day. What a special foundation this is, guys. Thank you so much for making it here. And I know you had to travel. I really appreciate you guys making it here. It's gonna be great, and it means a lot, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. It's a pleasure to be
No,
here.
it feels like a full circle moment. Just being here, seeing you doing all this, us two being here in this, shirts, and it just really feels great to be here. So thank you for giving us the platform. Yeah.
Of course, guys. I really want to dive into kind of what PS I Love You Day is, but I also want to draw attention to the color of the shirts that you have, the balloons that we have in the store that are purple. I'm hoping, though, that in the month of February, to those who are listening, to those who are watching, believe it or not, even if you want to check out Good Morning America on Friday, I'm sure, I know, this foundation, and again, we're going to dive into it, and the amount of people it has impacted. I just felt truly a duty from my position here in Patchogue, getting the chance to see and speak to so many community-minded people. This was really a no-brainer, and I'm so glad that 2024, the 14th year that PS I Love You Day has been around. So Jaimie or Brooke, guys, kind of, if you can, as best as you can. Try to fill us in, guys, with what PS I Love You Day is and really how it got started.
You
Well,
start now. I'll continue.
you know, it's been amazing to see the way that PS Love You Day has sort of transcended beyond just a second Friday of February. You know, it is every second Friday of February. And when we started PS Love You Day, Jaimie was a freshman at Cortland, and I was a freshman at Wesley's Up High School. And it had only been about 7 months after we lost our dad to suicide. And I always think Anderson Cooper actually told us this at AFSP, America's Foundation for Suicide Prevention Gala. He said, "Say the name of the person that you lost." And that really stuck with me. Jaimie and I were there. We got invited there by a good friend we made through PS Love You Day. And so our dad's name was Joseph DePalma Jr. We lost him on April 23rd, 2010 to suicide. He was a community hero. He was an advocate. He always had a smile on his face. He was always so happy, and he would love that we were doing something like this. He'd be amazed that Jaimie was doing something. He'd be laughing. He'd be smiling. But after we lost him, it was such a dark moment in our lives, and we had also lost a high school senior that same spring to suicide. Her name, Alexis Pilkington. And it was this really dark moment that I remembered the last 3 words that my dad said to me when he dropped me off to 8th grade middle school
Sure.
a week after my 14th birthday. They were, "I love you." And I told Jaimie, I told my friends, I said, what if there was one day where people started talking about mental health, that it wasn't so stigmatized, that I wouldn't, and my sister wouldn't be met with gasps when we had shared the story of losing our dad and how we lost him. And now 14 years later, PS Love You Day is what it is. Yeah.
And so when Brooke brought the idea to my mom and I, we did think she was a little crazy, but
Sure.
we said we're going to
Sure.
support you and we're going to go through with it. So we brought, Brooke brought to high school. I brought to my college. I presented in very cold weather at Cortland to 11 people. They stood there. They listened to my story, and we just kept running with it. We got a lot of pushback in the beginning because of the topic that it was associated with.
And the stigma, right? The stigma associated with
This
it.
was
Sure.
2010, Rob.
Sure. And a totally different
Think
world.
about how much has changed since the past 14 years. Yeah.
And we wanted an environment where people can bring up the word that they lost someone by suicide and not be scared to talk about it. That's all we really, so many people came forth with us just explaining that they couldn't believe that we were being so open about our father's death.
Sure.
And that's like one aspect of the organization is the suicide awareness, but also the prevention side too. So they're kind of 2 different avenues. If someone has lost someone by suicide, having that avenue where they can go and they can have that support system, because there wasn't really anything for us when we lost our dad. There was support groups, but there wasn't in the capacity that we wanted it to be. And then also the prevention side, mental health awareness, educating on how important it is to take care of your brain health.
Yeah. And I think what also is so amazing is Jaimie is an incredible educator. She's a teacher at Cayuga Elementary. Quick shout out. We've really not only been able to make this day, at first, a suicide awareness day, but this is now a kindness celebration. This is a celebration of sharing love, sharing kindness, sharing how valued, how you're never alone. And to see young children, our mission is to really educate people, others at a young age about mental health in hopes that this is the norm now. This is what they grew up with. And over the past 14 years, we have school districts who have celebrated each second Friday of February. They know it's a kindness day. They then learn there's a second part to the story. And now they're in college and they're bringing it to their college. They're coming back to their school and they're bringing it to college. And it really, like similar to us, it's transcended people's chapters of life, and it's really, it's made us who we are. And I think for many others, it's a big part of who they are too. And I think that's the most special part.
Absolutely, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
that's so much to unpack there, right? I mean,
Right.
really touched on a lot of great things. One thing I would love to share, super proud to share, is that Jaimie and I, and this is kind of the common thread, right? Jaimie and I have been friends since truly like kindergarten. Little kids growing up in West Islip, right? We're all West Islip alum. West Islip alum class of 2010. Very proud about
And
that.
2014.
Absolutely, 2014 as well. Very proud about that, guys. We've had some incredible mentors, whether they're through athletics or certainly in the business department, and have kind of allowed us to even dream and think as big as we have, right? And the ability to have the mindset, right? I know we touched on Mel Robbins. I know how much you guys care about her and her perspective on life. And as tragic as this was, this is something that you have the option to bring you down, right? Every time we think about this, or allow people to be raised up, right? You have the ability for you to say to yourself, well, this is happening for me and not to me, and this is how I'm going to springboard and leverage my life's experiences, and how we're going to be able to make impact, in communities all over the world, truly, depending on how big we want to see this. But what's so amazing, and again, I'm so proud to even know you and to share your mission with you. One of the things we're doing at Coho is that we have made PS I Love You Day a charity of choice, for you to click at checkout.
Amazing.
So what that means, guys, is that as the coffee house that we are, when we receive or create a transaction, on our end, we donate a portion of that transaction to the charity of the customer's choice. So for this month, all month long, PS I Love You Day is one of the charities in which the community can truly say they made an impact, off of the backs of Coho. And I think that's something that, again, I think really separates us from a lot of the other coffee houses. I think that's kind of how we immerse ourselves in the community. And it's a way we truly make an impact as well on our end. February 9th, the store will be littered in, again, purple and lavender balloons, guys, for PS I Love You Day. Our staff will be all, PS I Love You Day out. We have actually changed the logo in front of our store to
Purple.
illuminate purple
Yeah.
for the month of that. Another great thing, guys, I'm super excited, and I know Jaimie's in the education system in New York, and we've worked truly with about dozens of local school districts, who have received about 200 to 300 different sleeves.
Wow.
And the students have actually written beautiful messages on the sleeves. So with the way we look to do that is, how can you come in for a cup of coffee and leave not only with a coffee, right, but with a smile? And I think how we're gelling everyone, how everyone's working together, how this makes so much sense. It was just a no-brainer, guys, and if I would have had you on much sooner. This just made so much sense to highlight two amazing people, and everybody who's behind you guys, who has been doing this for 14 years. Talk to me, guys, through the 14 years, kind of how you've grown and really where you see PS I Love You Day going.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? As you were talking just now, I couldn't help but think that I think for all three of us, sitting in this room, I mean, I'm so proud of you and all that
Thank
you've
you.
created.
Thank you.
And I think it's a similar feeling. I feel very fortunate that we're in a position where we couldn't even imagine, and I said this today in an assembly, that we would even make it to April 24th, 2010. I don't even think that we even imagined that we would make it to the next day. And to see how far we've come 14 years later,
Sure.
it goes to show that it is truly one moment at a time, one small step that you took to create a business like this, and one small step that we took to create PS I Love You Day. And I think really the vision that we have is to continue to increase mental health awareness, to get more local businesses, more community organizations, always more schools, and really more individuals involved. I feel like because of the fact that it has so luckily increased with schools doing PS I Love You Day, because that's what our bread and butter, that's what we knew at
Sure.
the time that we had created. There's a whole white space out there
Mhm.
for people who don't know about PS I Love You Day yet. But once they know, I just know that they're really going to feel the love that we felt over the years. And so really that's our goal, is just to continue to spread awareness and really get involved in more communities as opposed to just the schools. We really want to make sure that we endorse schools coming together with their local communities, because you never know who's suffering. And we want everyone to know about this day and know that they're not alone. Yeah.
And off of what Brooke said, really having, when the communities become involved, it's when PS I Love You Day was originally created, we wanted the kids to go home and for them to have that conversation with the parents. We wish that we could have that conversation with our dad. And to go home, say, this is what I learned today. This is how we're learning about kindness. And then that parent looks up, what is PS I Love You Day? They find out the back reason, they know the reason behind it. And then they're like, maybe they're having these feelings, maybe they're having these self-doubts, and they're thinking to themselves, you know what, I need to get help. I need to figure this out. I will get through this difficult time. And for them to really reflect back and see how important that is through their child's eye, that's like the biggest thing we can really ask for. And
I think, guys, and I'm sure you would agree, is that it really takes a community, right? It takes a village, right?
Yeah.
It takes a village. This was an idea started by you guys who, 2, 3, right? No mom's involved, who is a sweetheart, by the way. I also would love to share that I knew your father. Joseph was an amazing man, amazing father. 20 plus years on the job in the city, NYPD. Really an idyllic father. So, I mean, he is so incredibly proud of you guys right now.
Thank
you.
you.
No question.
Yeah, and he, like we said before, like he was such a community advocate that, in that dark moment when we were thinking about how we lost our dad, like similar to what you said, it was like a no-brainer for us to come on the podcast. It was a no-brainer to start PS I Love You Day because he was such a positive force that I miss that sense of positivity. I miss that sense of pride that he held so highly. And by us doing PS Love You Day and to see, honestly, like his reflection and his legacy live on in every single
Sure.
person that celebrates, it's such a gift. And it doesn't make it feel like 14 years since we lost him.
Sure. I mean, I think a big key and a takeaway, whether it's right through this amazing conversation that we're having, whether it's through a lot of the advertisement that you'll see all across, New York and Long Island schools, in regards to PS I Love You Day. I think what we really want to do is we really want to normalize not being okay, and
Yeah.
that's okay. And I think the first thing is to truly normalize that. Really be as human, right, and as vulnerable as possible. I certainly work on that as a day to day, as I find that to be a way in which you can certainly be more relatable, right? Like we all have our struggles, we all have our weaknesses, and if you were to deny having a rough day, I mean, you're simply not a human.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's
We all have
more
bad days.
right, and I think it's so important that we own it, right? And I think it's so important that we have people in our life. That allow us to feel comfortable sharing those things, as that does not define you, right? Actually, what defines you is your ability to actually be big enough, to be open enough to say, hey, this is what happened today, or this is what's going on. And just, having the ability to bounce that off of someone, I think is tremendous. And I know the two of you have learned so much, really about the ability of positive self-expression, right? And raising self-esteem. But the beauty is, over 14 years, 14 incredible, successful years that this charity, this foundation has grown, year over year, and all the lives that you've affected, all the lives that you've impacted, the ones that you don't even know about. I mean, this is incredible stuff. This is stuff that, the 10, 12, 15-year-old young men and women who are in our school districts can really look up and say, wow, I can be, responsible for something so big. It's really incredible, guys. I mean, hats off to you on what you've done. And when you talk about PS I Love You Day in 14 years, where do you see PS I Love You Day in the future?
So 14 years from now, it'll be 28 years. So we'll probably be gearing up for the 30th celebration. But
Sure.
but,
And that's the best
not
thing too.
very
I really
close.
want to say too, right? And I love how you've leveraged what has happened, because, 100 out of 100 people, for example, would say, "There's nothing. I'm not built to do this." Where the
Right.
two of you have said to yourself,
We're not built to do this either.
Right.
It's just something that you
Yeah.
feel like it feels like we had no choice.
Yeah.
You know?
And each year we just like what you were saying, the manifestation, really taking these moments and saying, okay, what do I want to happen next year? We write down, we come up with a plan. And some avenues go well and some avenues don't, but we say, okay, what went well? What could we work on? And seeing our ideas come to life really are amazing. Like we had a vision of doing certain things in the community, and started off with donating to the Long Island Crisis Center, which we continue to do annually.
Mhm.
We worked with West Islip High School to have a mural done for PS I Love You Day.
amazing.
We, Yes,
Megan.
Mirabella Design. She did a beautiful job.
Yeah, also a West Ace alum. 'Cause
Beautiful.
We're keeping it in the family.
Yeah, keeping
We're
it local.
open to new friends.
Yeah,
Sure,
we're open.
sure.
We're open to different avenues. And then we had a bench put at South Oaks. in
Talk to me about
Amityville.
that. Yeah, talk to me about that.
So there was a bench placed in South Oaks and the outside of the building for families and loved ones to sit at, have that conversation. It says "P.S. I love you" on it.
Mm-hmm.
It is there as a visual reminder that you are loved, you are needed, whether you're having a good day, bad day, whatever you need in the moment. Sit on that bench, reflect, and take that time to yourself, because we want everyone that sees "P.S. I love you" to be a reminder that they are needed in this world.
And I think that's something that I want to kind of expand on, is because, when you're having these conversations, right, whether they're at the PSA Love You Day bench, which is fantastic, right? It's a constant reminder to this incredible mission that you two ladies and everyone behind you is on. We as a society talk so much, and I've touched on this on the pod before, is we talk about output, right? How much what is your output? How are you progressing? How are you moving the needle? But very rarely are we talking about how are we recovering from this, right? Like, what are we doing to heal, and what are the outlets in way we're healing? I think it's so important that at an early age we find whether they're the social outlets that we're talking about that everyone really should have in their life or in their inner circle, or there may be exercise, right, and fitness. That may be an outlet. But it's just so important that you're kind to yourself, and I have these conversations with people on the daily about not taking things so seriously, right? Like, don't sweat the small stuff, let's wait until it happens until we get concerned about it. I know it's a lot easier said than done, but it really has so much to do about positioning yourself with the right-minded people, right? People that are going to bring you up and not tear you down, the people that are going to add value. And who are the people that are really going to expand your energy, expand your vibration, right? Who's going to be on your bus? Big fan of the Energy Bus, written by John Gordon.
Yes, Cayuga Elementary is a huge energy
Absolutely.
bus.
Big fan of John Gordon. And, one of my missions across this year, I don't know if I had mentioned, is to read 52 books over 52
Amazing.
weeks. So a lot of the things that I'm reading, I'm applying to my daily life. And I certainly find myself emotionally stronger. The ability to have that outlet in which I take that hour a day, that 4% a day, and and I'll read for however long I can in that hour, and that is one outlet for me. And I wanted to touch on, what are some outlets for you guys that you can say that when you're having a rough day. I think this is so important coming from the two of you, because I know there are specific listeners that I'm sure are interested in what you two do. You have a long day at work, right? The stress of life. We're growing through this world and attacking it. No doubt about that, clearly. But what are some outlets, or what are some ways in which you guys kind of take care of yourself?
I would say that it is a constant struggle just to find a few minutes in my day to make sure that I'm really, as the 2024 theme goes, showing love to myself and giving love to myself. And I work full time as a financial journalist and do PS I Love You Day.
Sure.
And so it's a busy, long day. And what I've recently done, because I have a commute, I have things to do, is I try to wake up early in the morning and exercise. I really feel like that's a good way to start my day.
Mhm.
I try to forgive myself when I don't get up to exercise.
Sure. Sure.
But really just kind of calling friends on my walk to work. It's a 10-minute walk between the PATH station and my office. And each morning I'll call our mom, I'll call my friends.
It's perfect.
And it's like a 10 minutes that if I feel like calling a friend, or if I feel like calling your mom, I'll call. Or sometimes she'll even call me now. You hear that? She'll call me now. And
That's great. guys. That's great.
and it's taking that opportunity sometimes for myself to do that 10-minute walk. And it's like a moment of reflection. And another big thing I like to do is run. And we're both pretty adamant exercisers, runners. We both
You're
ran the marathon
exercisers.
at one
You're
point.
Exercisers. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, I
You
tried.
love fitness.
Yeah,
You love
I
fitness.
do like
and-
fitness. Yeah, I
and
like fitness. Love
Sure.
a relationship with fitness.
Sure. That's great though, guys.
We're working on it. But yeah, those are some ways
you know what's interesting, and Jaimie, I want to get to that. I want to expand on what Brooke had just said. Is that it's so interesting when you look at the relationship between pain and pleasure. Okay, and I can expand on that. That pain is on the other side of pleasure. It's very easy to hit that snooze button, or to eat that bag of candy, or to have that late night snack, right?
Yeah.
But the downside is
which I'm
what you're going
guilty
to see
with.
on the scale, right?
Oh.
That's the downside of what you're going to see on the scale versus there being pain up front and pleasure on the other side.
Right.
So just something to think about, because at the end of the day, we're going to have to pay the price.
Right.
At the end of the day, guys, we're going to pay the price. And the way in which you can mentally combat the bill that every day is going to give you, that's a way in which you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to now change, and I'm going to start my day with pain, as I know, it would set not only the rest of my day up, but the rest of my week, month, and year, and ultimately kind of define and carve the way I look at the world.
Yeah.
And Jaimie, what would you say is yours?
So I would say my avenues, I love a good workout class early in the morning.
Yeah, she goes like 5 o'clock in the morning.
I try.
Early bird.
Yeah,
Love
early
it.
bird.
She's
I love
good.
it.
Yoga
Same.
has been an avenue that I recently got certified as a yoga instructor. So I am excited to expand on those avenues to also help others see the power and the benefit of yoga meditation. Journaling does help me. What I think helps me is that I have become more accepting that maybe I don't need, working out isn't going to help me today. I need to journal.
Mhm.
Or yoga is what I need. Like listening to my body and seeing, okay, this is what my body needs today. Maybe I just need a day of just laying on the couch and doing nothing.
Sure.
And it definitely took a while to accept that because I am in the go, go, go mentality. And I would feel guilty for just hanging out and relaxing.
Well, we're New Yorkers, right? I mean, we're New
Right.
Yorkers. The idea of getting something done has to be done yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think needs to change, because it's unnecessary pressure that we put on ourselves. It truly is not real. And when you look at the things and the outlets, they're just different ways of filling your cup, right? Like, what fills your cup? For me personally, the thing I love to be doing is just say to yourself, you know what? You got to get outside and you got to go for a 10-minute walk. You just got to slow things down. You got to kind of reprocess and say to yourself, okay, let me regroup, right? There's that ability to kind of get that breath of fresh air, literally and figuratively. So finding that outlet, going for that walk, taking that 5 a.m. class, it's a great way for you to mentally, start your day, but also help strategize your day, right? What are the chances that we're going to have some really unhealthy meals after we've started our day the right way? The chances are very rare, right? We're gonna take care of ourselves because we've been taking care of ourselves since we've woken up, right? Since we hit that alarm that wasn't snooze, right? And these are just some of the traits, though, whether they're for PS I Love You Day or they're in business in a coffee house. These are some traits, though, that will ultimately yield successful people, right? The resiliency that you have demonstrated over these last 14 years, especially up front, have really defined who you are today. Two incredibly, incredibly, incredibly talented, successful young women who, like I've said, you guys should be so, so proud. I know mom is so proud. Like I said, dad is certainly shining and smiling from above and looking down on you guys and is so proud.
And Rob, if I could just add one more thing, I totally agree with what you're saying about, being sure that you start the day right and it'll sort of set the precedent for the day. But I am a firm believer that rainbow cookie in that bin over there
Has your name on
looks too good. It looks too good and has my name on it. And it's okay to indulge every once
Yes.
in a while.
No,
Maybe
absolutely.
indulge a little too much sometimes.
Yes. But listen, I think it speaks to, though, is like we have to take care of ourselves in a lot of ways,
100%.
right? Like we have to fill our cup in a lot of ways. And I think that there's nothing wrong with having a sweet treat, right? As long as we know what we're doing and we're self aware of all these things. And, again, there certainly should be times in which there's a reward, right? If you want to make that a reward. But we just have to know what they are and how we're categorizing it. What I would share with you guys, and PS I Love You Day, again starting in 2010, 2024, the 14 years. If there's something that really stands out to you over your 14 years, what one thing is something that you'd love to share with the world? Maybe you've made a certain impact on an individual or a family. Is there something that really stands out over your decade plus long success in this?
All right, I'll go. So, what I would say from this, if I was to, reflect back and say, okay, what's the biggest moment. There's been many lives that I've connected with through similar stories or through whether PS I Love You Day was helping. But I feel that the biggest message from looking back would be that everything takes time. That you're gonna have these bumps in the road, and because Brooke and I and my family and friends, we stuck it through, we kept our vision going. The PS I Love You Day is what it is today. And I feel that a lot of times people want that instant result. They want that overnight result, and there was times where we doubted PS I Love You Day. It wasn't always looking like it is today, and I think that that is like, if I could have the biggest takeaway from today is that things take time and you need to be prepared for that journey in the road. Whether you're starting your own business, whether you're starting your own nonprofit, or even just your own like career, it's gonna take time, but just be patient.
Sure.
That was hard to follow, but that was really good. So this year for me, because you guys are a little bit older, is that this is half my life without my dad this year.
Sure.
So I feel like for me, just the importance of a listening ear is what has stuck with me. So many people have listened to me over the years, listened to the crazy ideas that I've had, crazy visions. Um, and
Good.
yeah,
Good.
great.
I
And
love that your visions kind of scare people.
oh gosh.
That means that they're very big,
Aw.
and the fact that a lot of times people perceive them as crazy is it just reflects kind of their inability to think as big as you do. So that's great.
Oh no, I really and vice versa. I think that the opportunity and the privilege to be a listening ear for others has also really changed me. And similar to what Jaimie said, is that we have met so many family now friends, like families now turned our own friends
Sure.
who have been through similar tragedies. And when we hear something like, we are telling our story because of you girls, because we heard about these sisters who also lost their dad and are now doing okay. I think that that has been the biggest takeaway: being a listening ear, and 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 being a listening ear and having a listening ear. I think that opening up that conversation, like I said, 14 years ago when we started telling, it was met with, I can't believe that happened to you. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Or the worst was when people would be like, oh my God, you girls are so strong and what you're doing is so cute and your dad would be so proud. And we're like, yeah, like he would be proud. And it's not cute. This is very serious, and we're changing lives, and we're you know
The
people,
DePalmas are on a mission.
we're on a mission,
Yeah.
yeah. And what's amazing though is it's not just our story anymore. I think that's it too, is that all these families that we've met and all these students and community organizations, they have really taken PS Love You Day and made it their own. And I think that that's really been a defining factor, because it is no longer our story. It's not our story. It's our story. It's the story of this day that thousands of people have created together. And so it's so personal to each and every single one. Like the Jacksonville, Florida bridge was lit up purple because a student connected so much with this day. When I went to Marist College, the Mid Hudson Bridge was lit up purple because the president there supported it. We're trying one day for the Empire State Building to be lit purple. So, big ambitions on our board, not just us two, but the board that we have built over the years too. They have a similar mindset than us because they too were listening ears. So it's really just this evolution of the day that, yeah, and the growth that we've seen in ourselves and seen in our community has been awesome too. So.
Well, I mean, listen, you two represent so much, but one thing I would also really expand on that you touched on is what you mean to someone that this has happened to. I
Yeah.
think what you both represent, what the DePalma family represents, and what the people behind the mission of PS I Love You Day represent is hope. I think they know that they can come out just fine. Two very, 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 like I said, well put together young women who have a very bright future ahead and have so many lives to impact. And I second what you're saying. I second the idea that your goal is to truly just make an impact, right? Whether you could put a smile on somebody's face or turn somebody's bad day around. I think your ability to share your message and to be as authentic as you are and as genuine as you are, and because I know you, it's a lot different, right? It's a lot easier. But for those that don't know, I mean, Brooke and Jaimie DePalma are top shelf, really, top
Top
shelf,
shelf liquor, you know.
top shelf. But not to be mistaken in any way other than no, absolutely, guys. I mean, listen, let this podcast, let this platform, let this store, and let this community here at the Coho and our strong, tight knit community be able to kind of use this as an ability to expand on your mission, guys. And I just want to commend you again. I mean, really amazing work.
Thank you so much.
Dad
Rob.
is so proud and
You-
is happy.
You know, Rob, it's like what's so funny is when you just said the DePalma family, I still envision us four. I don't know about you, but I think of the DePalma family as not just us and my mom. It's like even though it's been 14 years, it's still us and our mom and our dad too. And I think that just the people that we've met have allowed us to know that you never have to move on from losing him. You move forward, and it's moments like this opportunity and moments like this that remind us that there truly is an angel watching over us
Yeah.
and guiding the way. Yeah. So when you say DePalma family, it's like, yeah, the four of us.
Yeah.
We're taking on the world together.
Absolutely, guys. This year is the 14th year. Tell me about what this year is a little different. I know we have certain sayings and slogans for every year. If you could share what the 14th year means.
Yeah. Jaimie, take it away.
So the 14th year is Love is Meant to Be Given. And we really wanted to have everyone focus on it in three different aspects. So love is meant to be given to ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
the importance of that self-care, really taking time for yourself, reflecting on that, the importance of giving love to others through kindness, through conversation, any way that you envision that. How can you give love to others? And then also love to the world. How can we be world changers? How can we teach kids to change the world in a positive aspect when is so much negativity at times? How can we really have all of us come together to bring love to the world in so many different avenues?
Thinking that big may be so intimidating to so many people, right? But when you're talking about the world, you're talking about just your everyday human being who lives amongst us, right? And as long as we have a brain between our two ears, we are all vulnerable to being in a headspace that isn't the best. So, like you had shared about Dad and making you the four of us, Dad is very much alive and well with our mission, guys. Every time you see purple throughout the month, I'd love for you to think of the gentleman that was Joe DePalma, and still is. Like I said, it still is. He's with us, and you represent him and all the men and women behind him, right? And the families that just didn't have the ability to do what you guys are spearheading. So. With that, though, guys, I would love to thank you so much for making it here to Coho today.
Thank you so much for
It has
having us.
been
Yeah, with tears, I'm like crying. I'm like, give me the tissues. This has been such a thoughtful conversation, though, and very thought provoking. About the future of PS I Love You Day and how we can get more involved in the community and to honor our dad this way really is so special.
So, for those that are listening, how can anyone get involved? I know we do really well with the schools. For anyone school related, outside of schools, talk to me about how you can get involved and what you can do to make an impact as well.
So when the most right now moment that you can get involved is when you're listening to this. It will be PS I Love You Day.
Mm-hmm.
So you could wear purple, rock your purple in any shape or form, bracelet, shirt, socks,
Headbands,
anything.
ribbon.
And then moving forward, if you would like to get your organization, business, anything involved, you can go to our website, www.psiloveyouday.net, and you can sign up your company, organization, coffee shop, diner, anything,
Sure.
Yeah.
anything imaginable.
And we provide a whole entire resource folder on Google Drive, so it's easily accessible, with tons of different ideas, whether it be hanging up a purple heart on your door, knowing that this is a business that supports mental well-being, or just doing simple acts of kindness throughout the year with your staff, with your students, with your organization members, with your community. I think that's really the best way to get involved. Just go to our website, click get involved, and just get started on spreading kindness.
And I want
Yeah.
So I want to add on, if anyone is listening and they're like, I wish I could celebrated this with my company or someone that I work with. It just because you've passed PS I Love You Day doesn't mean that you can't celebrate it. You
Yeah.
could make your own PS I Love You Day. The point of PS I Love You Day is to just bring everyone together, spread love. And if you don't have the privilege of hearing this on Friday, February 9th, you can still make it your own. Bring
Yeah.
it to your work, bring it to your space, and do what you like.
Well, what we're doing here at Coho is we're making it PS I Love You Day month. We're making it the month of February. Moving forward here at Coho, 62 West Main Street, right in the heart of the village of Patchogue, you will see purple everywhere. I mean, you'll mistake our brand for being purple.
Might
It just
have to stay
means
around.
so much to me, guys.
Aw.
I want to thank you. Like I said, thank you, Jaimie. Thank you, Brooke, for making it out here. Means the world, guys. Wish you lots of luck. www.psiloveyouday.net if you want to get some more information. Please make sure to subscribe. This will be on our channel, released February 9th, 2024. Also be found on iTunes as well as Spotify. So, DePalma ladies, thank you so much. Wish you the best of luck, guys, and may there be many, 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 many more years to celebrate this wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so
Rob.
much,
Thank you
guys.
so much for having us.
Of course, of course.